part of our life already. So I'm so pleased to welcome Professor Angela Hao from National University from Taiwan to Education University and give us a semester today. Let me briefly introduce ourselves. Professor Hao is Professor of Higher Education at National University Taiwan, and she's also the Executive Director of the Higher Education Evaluations and Accreditation Council of Taiwan since 2006. She has been involved in quality assurance practice and international research for more than 15 years, and now she also serves as Vice President of APQ and National Asian Pacific Quality Network for over 6 years, and she is also the board member of INQAAHE, that is an international network of quality assurance in higher education. Professor Hao is also the chief editors of HEEE Journal, which is Higher Education Evaluation and Development, which is published by HEAT and also APQN. She is also associate editors of Journal of Asian Pacific Education Review. She has published over 113 Chinese and English papers, articles, book chapter reports in the areas of higher education, evaluation, quality assurance, and cross-border higher education in local and international education. And recently, since she has been recognized by Springer as one of the top 24 Asian researchers in higher education review. And she has been awarded as an outstanding researcher by the Ministry of Science and Technology in Taiwan. So to conclude this long paragraph about Angela, I would say that Professor Hao's work is your must read if you are interested in the area of QA education in Asia. So without further ado, please join me to welcome Professor Angela Hao.
So thank you, Will's introduction. It really is this is really my honor to be here, because though I've been here for many times, since the last year, I visit the university and I help the program, evaluations and share my experiences. But today I think it's a different approach. Has to be a different way that being here and to share one of my research about the Taiwan experiences and then this kind of the QA development. Particularly though not many countries or states already have this kind of systems, but I think it's for Taiwan perspective, it seems have brought some impact on higher education. Internally and also externally on the whole system. So if you look at the topics that I was going to focus on is the implementations of the self-accreditation policy. That is the new way that the government actually have launched a few years ago, and I will try to focus on the impact, what exactly that policy really affect the internal quality assurance of the institutions. And of course, there's still a lot of the challenges and a lot of issues addressed through this kind of the process. So I think that I would like to let you know what happened and what will be next for the future. And of course, most important thing is, through this kind of process, how about the university's capacities on internal QA system has been developed. Taiwan's practice. So that will be my outline. I think, though today I think I mainly focus on one of my research papers, but I think in addition to this, I also want to give you some of the background. It seems that the real introductions, I served as Vice President of the Asia Pacific Quality Assurance Network and also the Board of International Network Quality Assurance and Higher Education. So through these two networks, actually, so I could work with a lot of the quality assurance agency and the practitioners. So the friends of the BQs over here, we all very good colleagues. So because this is why I could have some data, okay, and could know what's really going on, okay, in the EQA, okay, this kind of system. So I think I will also share you a little bit about some data we collected, okay, from both network, what's going on, okay, in Asia, the quality assurance in Asian higher education, and then I will also share you two initiatives in Taiwan higher education. One is the Higher Education Sprout project. That project actually has been launched since the 2018. Okay, after what we call the World Class Initiatives project. I mean, several countries in Asia actually have this kind of the world class, okay, building project, something that after the 10 or 15 years, okay, the next one is the Sprout project. So what exactly it means, and what the government, why they want to make this kind of transformations, what they try to focus on. And another one is the new southbound, okay, collaborative program. Though it is a very big program, you know, two and a half years ago, okay, since we have the new government, and then have the different targets, okay, for the cooperation. And ASEAN countries actually is our main target. So also the education has been affected by this. So I will also introduce this one with you. And also these two projects are under the HEAC, my council's supervision, okay, because we have to help governments to realize what exactly, okay, these two projects has been implemented at the universities. And then, of course, I will tell you a little bit about the Taiwan QA policy, okay, over the years, and then exactly, okay, the roles of the HEAC, okay, as a national quality assurance agency, okay, our responsibilities on mission has been changed or not, in order to respond to the social expectations and also the government, okay, you know, some tasks they would like us to do. And then I think I will share you the paper, okay, the key points that the papers that I published in Quality in Higher Education. It's a very good journal that the whole paper actually has been published online, so you can access to that and to see what exactly this policy actually has been working, yeah, over the years. Yeah, so that would be the information that I would share you with you. So first of all, I think let me start us with this. Okay, we all know that so far, okay, in general, I think the whole Asia, from that the networks data, you can see almost, okay, most of the countries they have the national quality assurance agency, or even, okay, you have the several privates. But if you look at this, okay, and also, if you look at the number of things, see, okay, total, the numbers is about this, okay, the quality assurance agency so far, if you look at Asia, no matter it's a private or self-funded, or even that is the governmental office, okay, like most of the QA agency in ASEAN countries actually is as a department under the Department of Education something. So totally is around 87. And public one is about 84. Private one is about 33. Okay, some probably as a regional, as a a general quality assurance agency. Okay, it's like VQ and like us. We do institutional, we do program. But some actually mostly focus on some field like engineering, like business, and medicine. Okay, so most of those professional accreditors probably they are private. Yeah, but if you look at the numbers of the quality assurance agency total in Asia, and then let's look at the numbers of the institutions. Okay, so so huge. Okay, so it's 176,000. Okay, and the students. Okay, so probably millions. Okay, so this means because higher education in Asia exactly expected. Okay, but the quantity, of course, okay, the numbers increased, but the quality, okay, in certain way, okay, how could be reassured? But if you look at the numbers of the quality assurance agency, only 87, okay, how come, all the universities, okay, well, all the programs could really exactly assure, okay, if we just have these numbers of the quality assurance. Those are very interesting issues that we have to take into consideration. And then also the other two things that I would like to share with you is, okay, from the data also, because in the recent years, including the Hong Kong, ASEAN countries, they all try to develop the national qualification framework, but still, many countries actually, they did not have. Okay, so if you look at the national qualification framework, okay, the system, the 32 countries actually has it, but there's still the 19 countries that doesn't have that, including Taiwan, Japan, South Korea, and those countries that actually do not have. Or even some Asian countries, they may have the national qualification framework, but it's still not working very well. Okay, like Vietnam or Indonesia, just developed in the initial stage, and then still working on how to really implement this kind of the system. Okay, so in general, it's based on the data that I show you. So inevitably, quality assurance system is supposed to be here right now. They're here to serve some kinds of the role. So, but in general, probably there will be the several reasons. In addition to what I say, the expansion. So due to the expansion, so maybe the higher education will be more marketized, and then the accountability actually will become the very important concern. The government really want to know, how the university really work and then how kind of outcome has been presented. And of course, for some reason, for some countries, the quality assurance, the result will be used for funding education, or even some countries will use it if they want to close the low quality of the programs, or if the programs actually could be provided, or new programs could be set up, whatever. So those things, I think, will be used for the government funding and also the accountability. And public concern of things as well, because the students, the whole society, they really want to know what's going on. Though the ranking still actually is more visible, very recognized, compared to the QA report. That is inevitable. The ranking is much easier to be read, but the quality assurance. Half of the students would like to read a long report with so many pages. Even some report, have the hundreds of pages. So it could be understood that, why not the quality assurance in a certain way, probably, not in this way, the visibility, could not be higher than the ranking, that is, but still. But however, those kind of reports certainly still could provide the evidence and information for the society or anyone, all the higher education stakeholders, to know the quality of this university. And also for international cooperation in certain ways. So like, I don't know, probably BQ is saying that my agency in a certain way, usually we receive several calls from the foreign universities, but usually they will ask me, would you mind telling me if this university, because we're going to cooperate with them, in the future we develop our partnership, or even certain kinds of program. Would you mind telling me if this program or this university has been accredited by you, and when, and then how about the result? Because still, though the rankings probably only limited of numbers of the schools will be shown on the system, but still, the larger proportions, the schools, probably their names cannot be on the ranking system. So they probably, in certain way, rely on this kind of system to really assure the quality, throughout the institution level, at the university institution level, as well as at the program level. So that is also one of the concern. And then the talent mobility, I think that is for the qualification recognition. That is also very important. Since the students that get the qualification maybe from Hong Kong, from some university, public probably is not the issues, but for the private sectors, when they bring this kind of qualifications, when they back to their country, probably, the government or even the employers or whatever, so they may really want to ask. If it's actually the private, they may want to ask, if it has been accredited by VQ, in order to, this is the basic requirement, right, to see, the quality of this kind of, quality of the programs or institution. So in a certain way, you can see though the private university in certain way will be, in certain way, the quality will be managed or even will be supervised by the government. But for the private sector in certain way, really, they heavily rely on this kind of system, okay, to demonstrate the values of the qualification actually awarded to the students. So, this is several reasons, though, okay, quality assurance is here to state. But in general, since the quality assurance, external quality assurance system has been established for over years, but in general, okay, according to the scholars from European Western pattern, okay, he just tries to, probably it cannot cover all, but he tries to okay, identify the different types of the QA system, EQA system, okay, in generally. Okay, so very interesting to use a specific term, huh? Okay. The first one, okay, the identifying. One kind of the QA system is the next generations. Okay, the purpose is, okay, to try to focus, if this type of the EQA systems, okay, mainly focus on, okay, self-enhancement, they hope that, okay, no matter it's EQA, IQA, okay, they hope this is kind of tool could really enhance the teaching or pedagogy, okay, strategy, okay, teaching progress. So that is what they call the next generation. That I don't know what to use this term, but anyway, very interesting. This is one type of that. Okay, some system they may think that no matter EQA or IQA, EQA influence the IQA, but they mainly hope that okay, the teaching's quality, the learning outcomes could be reassured. So internally, so self-enhancement is one, the main purpose. And the other one is, okay, the thing some countries probably regard as the QA system as the catwalk. Okay, catwalk you see, right? A model working on the stage, very fashionable, okay, because the Hong Kong has that, so many countries still have it. Yeah. That is still focused on that. Okay, the thing, because the VQ, okay, because this kind of system, so they could really help the university, okay, to manage the whole schools more successfully. So they mainly focused on that. The EQA, IQA, okay, they hope that the governance, the management actually will be more efficient. Okay, and another one is the arms race. Okay, in some countries still EQA, or particularly means the EQA. There's a lot of the confrontations, okay? The school, most of the university don't think it's necessary. Actually, it bring a lot of the burden, a lot of the workload, right? So this is why in this kind of the system, it means the quality assurance agency need to defend. Why is it necessary? It needs to defend, okay, its existence, and it needs to defend its necessity, okay? This is why, okay, for this kind of a process, okay, then how much that you think that the benefits will be brought into the higher education, okay? So it means that that the scholars identify this like race. So in a certain way, okay, so like the political conference, okay, who should really, okay, dominates the quality assurance. It should be by the university, it should be by the government, or it should be by the QA agency, okay? And the very last one, I think, there's most of the Asian countries probably belongs to this kind of model, okay, but you call it the ringing walk because in general, okay, the quality assurance, okay, is being used as a political instrument, okay, in order to implement that the state control, okay, about maybe the system of the educations, the size of the university, okay, etc. Okay, so that is, I think, the ASEAN, most of the ASEAN countries probably will belong to this part. But sometimes you will have to say, okay, the QA system, okay, each state, each country's QA system belong to each system. It might be a kind of the mixture, okay. But however, you see, okay, those are very popular schemes has been used in most of the countries. So let me see, okay, but in general, that's what I mentioned to you, the quality assurance really, okay, for in the Asian, most of the in Asian countries, okay, so it will be used as a governmental policy, okay. But though it's a governmental policy, and though it's a different context, it may have the different meanings, but however, okay, they still will be intertwined with the politics. So the governments probably use that, okay, to do, okay, to implement or probably how to associate with this policy. For example, the government maybe want to use this to enhance the quality. I think in general, that's what I mentioned, is why the Q is here. And then allocate the funding, and then some, as a policy tools, they would want to use to control the student enrollment, how many students actually you could really recruit, okay, and student mobility definitely, and also, okay, the government, like the self-accreditations, when we hope that through, okay, the quality assurance, the IQA mechanism on the campuses actually could be built. Okay, so the different reasons, but actually so could be used as a strong tools by the government to really influence the university, okay, that way. Or we say to close the low performance institutions, okay, if they cannot really pass the accreditations or monitoring by the report by the government, of course, that is the evidence that the governments will use to really close it. Nowadays in Taiwan, actually, because we have so many universities so far, so now, okay, probably you could say that 1/3 of universities, they cannot have enough students enrollment. But who should be closed? It's a big headache for the government. So the QA report becomes very important, okay, the one of references for the governments to think about the issues. And also, okay, for some government that was mentioned to you, to facilitate academics, the qualification recognitions. I think that's, okay, like Hong Kong, BQ, or even Malaysia, okay, they want to be the register, okay, the qualification registered, okay, in the system. Of course, the QAs will be one of the requirements. And then that's what I mentioned, aligns with the qualification framework. You know? So this is about the government's policy. So in general, that's what I mentioned to you, okay, there are around the 87 totally, okay, quality assurance agency in Asia. And then, but you can see most of them actually are quasi-autonomous national agency, like my agency here, or even Japan, I think is also, okay, those are funded by the government, but it's not, you know, part of the governmental offices, okay, but all the funding is from the government, or even directly, so from is a government department, such as Thailand, Indonesia, okay, they just part of the governmental offices. Or even if you look at the Thailand, okay, UNESCO, you know, the director, okay, directors of the national, the quality assurance agency, UNESCO in Thailand, okay, each year, executive director or the director, okay, need to report the whole result to the prime minister, okay, wow, so directly, you know, to that the highest, you know, leaders of the whole country. Okay, so that influences is very quite strong. So usually you could see that they try to have a lot of the human resources. Okay, the human resources. Okay, probably, but that would be a little bit big range. Okay, if you look at those 87, okay, institutions, some could be very, very big, some could be very small. Okay, the big one will be more than 300 staff. Okay, I don't know the VQ how many, I think 100, right? Okay, but you know which countries have 300 in Asia? One guess. So many staff. Okay, Malaysia, they have the whole building. Okay, yeah, so that's and then you know which one had just one. So you see the ranges. But in average, if you look at okay those agencies, I think the staffs are around okay the average size were around 50 to 70 around okay appropriate size. And the one is from New Zealand. Okay, you can say why only one? Because they only had to review 8 public schools. Others they could not do that. Okay, so it means that okay each year they only have to review 2. Okay, so which one? One will be enough. But if we compare to Indonesia, you know, each year Indonesia qualification, okay, agencies, quality assurance agency, you know, how many units they have to review per year? Over the thousands, even 1,300 around. Yeah, so it's amazing. So it means it depends on the work that you're responsible for. But mainly you could see the funding, of course, from the government. I mean, half of them all from government. But I always mention they still have that some private. So for the private one, then maybe they will claims that the aviation fees from the university. So you mean the university pay. So the BQ still the school pay, right? In certain way. Some, right? Okay. And yeah. So by in some, yeah. But if you can see, most of the Asian countries, it means if there's a compulsory accreditations, like almost the government, then they take care of all the fees, and then expenses. So it means that the universities do not need to pay anymore. And then if you look at approaches, so look at Asia, what kind of approaches actually has been used, I think the most popular one is the accreditation, and then like VQ's accreditation, HEX accreditation, and Malaysia's accreditations too. And some countries they use the audit. Accreditation means that and then the university that you say your mission, though the quality assurance agency still has some standards, right? Some area that you have to present your result and your performances. Actually, they fully respect that the university, that the goal and objectives that you set. As soon as you reach the goal, that you set, like our university probably different from Hong Kong University, then the goal will be different. So as soon as you achieve the goal, finish for purpose, and then actually it will be accredited. But the audit is probably a different concept, because then all the criteria has there, and then the government, the QA agencies just want to see if the whole system actually is compliant with those criteria. So that's what we call the audit. I think the New Zealand actually use the audit. Now the Australia also use the audit as well. Because then it becomes a regulator. Evaluation in a certain way, actually they would try to don't evaluate the universities, but they would pass the judgment. Accreditation in a certain way, actually, I don't think that the QA agency will judge it's good or bad. Just say you meet this kind of minimum standards. But for the evaluations, after the review process, though this group of the schools, they all pass, right? But it still tries to categorize them. You better, so you A plus. Or you A only 1 plus. A minus, whatever. So they will all pick some there, though they all pass. In general, through the accreditation process, see, the pass rate is quite high. Like if you look at the Japan's experiences, no schools fail. So now the society says, why? There's no school, all pass. Why should we make so lot of effort on doing that? So this why this is some of the arguments. But this is why some agency, although all pass, but still let you know which one's better than the other one. So the Indonesia, they will try to though all pass. Then I will tell you, which one's better than the other one. And you see India actually is the same system. But in India, not just use the evaluations, they also use rating. The National Quality Assurance Agency, if they use the rating, it means that all the school, as soon as that has been accredited, in addition to know the general result you pass or not, and then you have the score, 90, 80, to let you know exactly. So we say the rating. So in general, so it's a different types of the approaches has been used. So it really depends on the purposes. If you really want the university to improve themselves, not necessarily to make a comparison, because all the schools are different, right? So you can see accreditations has been used so often still nowadays by most of the QA agencies. The US the same, they all use the accreditations. But for no matter each approaches, probably the EQA will consist with the 3 elements. Self-assessment report necessary. No matter how, you all have to come up with a report, right, to realize your strength, your weaknesses first of all, and then we'll conduct after based on the report. We have the on-site visit. No matter how many days it will be, it could be 1 day, 2 days, will be 4 days. Okay, I remember that is Vietnam just told me that. They were more than a week. And more than a week. Okay, can you imagine that the team stayed at school for a week? How busy? Why can't everybody busy, right? And the nervous, right? It's different, right? Like here usually we'll have the 2 days. So VQ probably 2 days, right? Okay, depends. But in Taiwan, our medicine program, okay, reviews by the other commission, council, and that actually they spend 4 days. Okay, 4 days. Okay, because they still have to visit a teaching hospital, so it really depends at the program levels. Yeah, but however, peer reviews are necessary. So, but it's still some problem. Okay, because like the Hong Kong is so small. Okay, we all know each other. We all good friends. Okay, right. So the Taiwan we still small. So this is why for some reviews we really rely on the international reviewers, the auditors to help us. They hope that can provide us more objective perspectives, in order to avoid those kind of the relationship, right? See there, and but nowadays you could see some agency though the on-site visit still was make the schools more we couldn't say the troublesome, but actually you will spend more you will have you have to take care of more jobs on that. So for some agency, to try to simplify, to reduce this kind of process. So only do the DEX review and then rely on the DEX, the database. Okay, if all the university, institution level, program level, each year they report the data. Those kind of criteria that the government will want to, and then they just check the data. If the data, something wrong, where actually the big changes were actually dropped, significantly, obviously, and then they will kind of visit. So far, you can say Australia, no on-site visit. Australia, just actually review. So, and then also the China, postgraduate level, postgraduate programs, also DEX review, no on-site visit. Because China is so huge. I don't think all the programs have to be conducted on-site visit. Could you imagine how many reviewers actually will be needed? Thousands, whatever, But they just, as soon as you invite the reviewers, you still need to train, we couldn't say train them, you still let them know what they're supposed to do, right? So it's a really huge work. So it depends on, the different country situations, they may use a different approach to do that. A self-assessment report is unnecessary, it's a must. Because, so this one, self-assessment report, it means that IQA. Before you coming up your self-assessment report, you have to realize all your elements, what's going on, the program, institution, what thing you think actually you do not that good, you want to improve in the future. So that is the process, that university can realize yourself first of all, and then before that external teams to share their advice, because only you know yourself better, best, other than others. External reviewers, they will visit you only 2 or 3 days. They just read your report, and probably they may interview some of you. They may observe something, but only you, know all the details about, what the problems that should be really improved. So now it's about the trend. Let's see, what would be, I don't know, the other Q agencies would. So that's what I called about the risk-based. So though most general, let me just do the DEX review, DEX reviews. If they find out through the data, they find out something wrong, some programs and institutions and they pay the visit. So it means the risk, there's something probably might happening, and then we just see if that problem actually already occurred. And then for the IQA in general, if you look at also from the survey, we find out that in Asia, most of the quality university, you can see they all set up the QA office, very professional one. I think the VQ we still have one, right? And then Taiwan, most of the university, they have a very particular office to take care of, to help the whole school to organize all the documents, and then also to help the programs to prepare the self-assessment report, and then provide a lot of resources, and then also the training, capacity buildings for all the programs. Because we know, although we are all scholars, but QA still in this particular field, right? You really need some knowledge, to realize how to really do it successfully. So you need an office, very professional office, to take care of those kind of things, and continuously provide, all the staff, the teaching staff, administrators, the latest informations, and then the current trends with them, And then you generally see, in most of the higher education providers, when they do the IQA process, they usually, mostly, if they ask their exam, who actually will engage this kind of process, they would say, the top the faculty members usually is the one engagement, because they really need the faculty members to provide a lot of the documents or even information about the course, about whatever, and then top administrator definitely, students in certain way, administrative staff as well, they do a lot of work on it. But alumni and board of director, maybe the last two, probably they rarely participate in this kind of a process. But when I have the on-site visit to Macau universities, the board of the trustees actually, participated very, very actively, and the board and the chairman of the board attend all the interviews. I say, whoa. They try to see, I don't know, but it means, it shows that he paid great attention to all the reflections and the feedbacks, no matter it's from faculty members, really want to know how the panel, want to, the university should improve. So it really depends, this way. And then, but however, when it comes to some, this is a general IQA, right? Institutional program level. But if we ask them, we find out, only limited number of university, they pay particular attentions for the PhD program. The PhD program, they have the particular, review process and they review the PhD program, talking about PhD programs, on a regular basis, or even the online learning education, those two scopes usually, in most of the ASIN, in the higher education provided in Asia, usually will be a little bit ignored. They may generally look at the problems, but not talking on certain types of the curriculum. So that is what we found. So I let you see about that the Asians, what's going on. And now back to Taiwan. The 2016 we have the new administration. That by the other political party, and so this is why the higher education systems also, the higher education system also has been affected due to policy. But let me show you, that is about the Taiwan higher education system so far. So we have more than 150 institutions. So the number actually is quite huge. So now, this is what I told you, 1/3 of the institutions probably they got the problems about attracting students. So now this is the issue, and that is about more than 1 million students in total. And quality assurance, what I say, 5. In addition to the HEAC, actually we still have the other professional credit, private and self-funded. So public one like HEAC, and then we still have the other private one. And so far, of course, we do not have the quality assurance, qualification framework, not like Hong Kong, And then as I told you, I will share you, the 2 important initiatives launched by the new, we couldn't say new because we are going to run the presidential election next year. We couldn't say it new, but yeah. So you know that. So you know that if you visit Taiwan, if you just turn on the TV or any kind of, it's about who is going to be the next president. But anyway, anyway, okay, due to the current administrations, okay, they have the new policy, and the two most important policy is about what I told you, higher education. One of it is the higher education sprout project, okay, and this project, you may ask me, oh, how is it different from the previous, okay, so-called the world-class excellence initiative, okay, pursued, you know, the global rankings, whatever. Okay, so this project mainly, in addition to still we focus on, we still hope that the internationalizations and global competence is very important. But in the new projects, the governments hope that we could take care all the university equally, and also focus on, okay, two things probably. Okay, that's the previous initiatives that haven't paid so much attention to. One is about the social responsibility of the higher education providers. Okay, so you know, due to, you know, for some feedbacks, okay, or even some impact, we find out that the university, okay, in the previous run, they, of course, they try to pursue the academic recognition, okay, through the papers publications, and of course the numbers of the journal articles we publish more than ever. Okay, but now there's a voice that, okay, though you publish so many papers, so how much contribution you made to the Taiwan society? How much those papers or how much those research outputs really impact Taiwan society and made the whole society better. So now the government particularly asked those research university, Taiwan University, National Gentry University, National Taiwan University. Okay, in addition to the research output, you have to tell us how those research output actually, okay, made the whole society or even, okay, the people's life better. So, social responsibility, okay, you have to tell that. And then the other one is very particular, you know, the red one is accessibilities and affordabilities for underprivileged students. That is those like the top university, okay, I don't know, it's probably here, they attract the students, actually, probably most of, they do get those students background, okay, from those top university, okay, in Taiwan, research oriented. Most of the student actually is from, okay, the middle income or even the high income family. So now for the new projects, they hold the government expected for those research-oriented university, okay, maybe Hong Kong, this 8 public university, you have to, a certain way, attract certain numbers of the students, or proportions. They're supposed to be from low income or from rural areas, okay, because they will have probably not so much opportunity to get into the NTU. So that is the research support this. Okay, you know, there's a study, try to realize, how about the Taiwan University students, their family background, okay, 80% from them, 80% of the students from Taipei. Yes, amazing. 80% of the NTU students from Taipei. Okay, so this is to see, still, how about the other city, the other area, that is, the students probably, they cannot have, okay, so much, you know, opportunity to get into what we call the top university. So this is why in this project, the government encourage that. Okay, maybe the student performances or the examination scores is not the only way, okay, you could judge if the students could be admitted. You should still have to evaluate, okay, the students in the various, okay, dimensions. So this is about. And also the other thing is the government try to pay attention is the academic ethics. A lot of the scandals, I mean, it's happening in Taiwan. If you ever read that news, or even the former NTU, okay, president, okay, for, you know, the paper, you know, publication for some issue. So now the government also hold that, okay, now the academic integrity, okay, should be re-emphasized. So you know now, okay, due to this kind of because these projects, including me, all the professors, if you really want to apply for the government's funding, okay, research funding, if you like, okay, all the researchers, okay, or including the graduate students, if you want to also join the research project that you awarded by the government, or we all have to take the ethics lessons and get the credits. I think for me, we have to get the 6 credits, and you have to attend the ethics classes, and then just attend the ethics classes. After that, you will have to take the examinations. You mentioned Mark, okay, attend the class, and right after the class, okay, and you have to get, okay, you have to pass in order to get a credit. So that is the thing that is really the issue, academic integrity, okay, in order to, okay, to avoid those kind of the, okay, you know, inappropriate, I could say, okay, because I say it carefully, inappropriate behavior or misconducts. Yeah. So that is about the focus. Okay. So in this project, in generally, they are divided. This project divided into 2 major parts. Okay. The first part try to focus on the quality of the whole university. Okay. And then the hope that the universities could pay more attention to your own futures. Okay. Not necessarily to be, follow or even to imitate the other university. You could develop based on your resources, okay, mission and visions, and then develop your schools. And the other one is also still, okay, there's still one part. They think that the excellence still necessary, okay, for all the university, or for some university, okay, and also benefits the whole Taiwan society. So you can see the 1 year, okay, is that the total funding, okay, granted by the government is 5,000 million USD, okay, means for the whole year since the last year 2010. And then you could want to know more detail, okay, for the part 1 that I mentioned, okay, focus on that developing the university futures, and they still, okay, classifies into the 2, okay, sub-projects. The very first one, overall, means all the university. That's what, I mentioned to you now. There is a 156 university. Okay, they all have the opportunity to apply for this. So you can see in this thing. All the university, okay, actually is they get a grant, and the grant funding is more than 282 billion. I mean, that's all USD, okay? And then they have to focus on, in addition to the university future, talent cultivations, and then to enhance the student-centered teaching, most important thing is you have to demonstrate your employability. All the university, okay? And then the other one is the USR, University Social Responsibility, that I mentioned to you. Okay, in this project, okay, so the 116 university actually got their projects. And the numbers of the projects are up to 220. So they hope to focus on the student, the community engagement and your social responsibility. Okay, not just the service learning. You have to, okay, use your research output and then to try to solve the community, okay, some problems actually they face. That is about the money as well. And then the last one is what I told you, okay, support for underprivileged students. I hope that you could provide more scholarships, more support for those students from the rural area, okay, from the low-income family, okay, so those things, I hope that could be done in the first part. And the second part mainly focuses on the international, okay, competitiveness, okay. So in this part, also the 2 sections. The first section is the university-wide. So only 4 universities actually has been granted, including National Taiwan University, National Cheng University, National Jiao Tong University, National Tsinghua University. Okay, so this is all according to our own impressions of the only 4 this university actually get this grant. And then of course they have to be more international. Okay, and then hope that their research, their research outputs could really influence the whole academic community. So the only 4 universities get that. So that's the money they get. This for school, the share, 119, the budget. And then the other part is about the leading research center. They still support some leading center, the research centers from some universities. So you can see the 24 universities got this grant, and the total is 63 research center actually has been granted. And then I hope that some specialized research area could be really enhanced, and then to really expand your influences in that certain area, okay? And of course, most important thing is I hope those research centers, some research or some experiments or some lab could really respond to the social need. What exactly now the Taiwan society need, what kind of technology, what kind of science actually, need to be done. And then also the industry, the whole market development. So that is about that. Okay. So far it's been done because this project just launched last year, 2018. And now it's been after 1 year, all the university now all send the midterm report to my council. So we also help to review those reports. But this year we just do the desk review, and then this year, we'll just do the desk review, and the next year we'll have the on-site visit to see if this Sprout project has been done, has been implemented successfully or not. And another one is, I think, also the very particular policy, launched by the government, in order to have the more good connections with southbound countries, South Asian, the Asian countries, right? And then the government hope that through the educational program, through the talent development programs, this kind of connection, this kind of relationships will be getting stronger and stronger. So this is the funding that they fund them, and almost 33 million USD, and so far the 41 institutions actually has been granted. And for some university, probably never granted some programs. But this kind of the programs, means that you have to attract, of course, the students will be from the Asian countries, and then also you have to help those students from Asian countries. In addition to learning in the class, you also have to help those students to have the internships in Taiwan, some industry. So this is the focus that the program tries to implement. But mostly you could see the university technology apply for this kind of a program in addition to the general university. Now, go to Sims. There's a lot of background, so much things to share. But anyway, so now based on those things, I think I would like to share with you a little bit about the Taiwan QA system so far after the 2017 the new government. Not the news, but anyway, new government, and some changes. That already occur. Like the system actually is more diversified, and then due to the self-accreditation system, would give the universities their autonomy. And then hope that the quality cultures could be developed, could be really implemented on the campuses. This is why, IQA system more important now emphasized than the EQA. And then hope the transparency, no matter IQ and EQAs could be the focuses. And then also, ask the HEAC or the other QA agents to think about your new roles, in addition to be the quality regulator, you're supposed to be, doing more, for the schools. So now this is about the current system. That's what I told you, We have the one national here in the middle, right? And then we still have the other private one, A TMAC is a professional accreditor for medicine, for medical education. And then TWAEA is a private, self-funded institution, the review institution, as well as the programs. And we also have the other two professional, okay, accreditors in addition to the medicine, engineering, and the business. And we look at this one, CEPH, this is from United States. You know that Taiwan also allowed the international accreditor, okay, to review our program, but they're supposed to be recognized by the government. So it means HEAC. So we do the HEAC actually a multi-role. We review the institution, we review the programs, and we also, in certain way, we help recognize all the local as well as the international accreditors, like the CHIA. Yeah. Okay, so this is about the whole system. So this is my agency, or the government funded according to the university law. Though we are not a non-government, we are non-governmental bodies, but however, all the funding is from the government. Yeah. And so far has been completed 2 cycles of program reviews as well as the institutional review. Okay, and now we are doing the 3rd cycle of the program accreditation. Since the 2017, the government have the new policy. The new policy means that all the programs review accreditation is not compulsory. It's a voluntary. Okay, before it's a compulsory, no matter you like it or not. So it means that if they're compulsory, that I told you, government pay, right? So now, voluntary, okay, depends on your will, okay, your demand, your needs, but university pay by themselves. Okay, so it's a new cycle, and then we have the new system. So, but I think I skipped this. And now, we also, the other, in addition to the program accreditations, now we are moving to the 2nd cycle of the SAIL accreditations as well. And also, okay, this system actually is a difference from the program accreditations, okay, that has been implemented by the 2 process, okay. One is the proposal, okay, should be reviewed by the HEAC first of all, and then as soon as all the procedure has been done by the university, and then the result should be sent back to the HEAC as well to review in order to improve. Okay, I think I will give you more detail about that one. So it means that so far, have the multi-roles in addition to the quality gatekeeper, right? And we still hope that, okay, could help the university, okay, through the self-accreditations and also through all the projects that the government develops to help them develop, okay, their capacities, okay, in order to develop good quality, deliver the good quality educations and then those things. I think I'll skip this. So now this is, okay, that the paper that I published, okay, in quality in higher education, that journal, and this is funded by the Inquiry, okay, research. We got a award for this. So that paper mainly focused on the SAIL accreditation. And then probably, I mentioned several times the SAIL accreditation. What exactly does SAIL accreditation mean? Probably I have to give you a more clear definition. That is, according to the Inquiry, okay, it means that it's a process or it's a status that really implies that a degree of autonomy, okay, for the university, okay, or even individual programs, and then the hope that the schools, okay, will be able to offer the programs by themselves. Yeah. So, but most important thing is, I think he mentioned about this. In this kind of the system, the university, okay, you will be able to undertake the external reviews, okay, EQA, over all your programs. Okay, so this is according to the lead Harvard. Okay, so based on this kind of the philosophy, it means some university, okay, this is about a comparison in Hong Kong. I think the public school is certain way that they have this kind of the, okay, but I think I skipped this. So based on this kind of the philosophy, it means that some university, okay, actually if you have certain kinds of qualification, you have certain capacity, and then you will be awarded to undertake the SAIL accreditation. And the government launched this kind of policy in 2012. And mainly, of course, that the university, the autonomy will be enhanced, and most important thing is your IQA system should be well established. And also that the university realized the quality actually is your major responsibility, not the government, okay? And then the 2017, the government, okay, tries to expand these policies to, okay, more universities, okay? But however, for the EX perspective, we don't think all the school could do that. It's very complicated. Okay, if they want to implement the self-accreditation policy, it means that do the EQA by yourself. It means that your university should have the office that EAC, right? Invite a reviewer, okay, do everything, preparation, document review. So not only if a very small small university, so we still set a kind of criteria, okay. If this university, the second cycle of the program accreditations, your pass rate, okay, the numbers of university, numbers of program, okay, the 80% of the program actually pass, they were able to do this, okay. So far, this is the first, okay, cycle of the self-accreditation actually, so only 60 university has been awarded, yeah, so set the limitations. And that is what I told you, okay, there will be the two steps. First of all the universities, they have to send their proposals to the HEAC, okay, to identify, to demonstrate how their capacity is. Okay, and then we give them the 8 stages, okay, how you're going to do this. And then as soon as we say, okay, yeah, it seems the system's well, it sounds well, and then you could continue to do it. And probably after 1 year, 1.5 years, you go through all the process, the EQA process, and then send back your report to the HEAC and we to approve. Okay, if actually, okay, you really do whatever you told us. Okay, so that is about this. So based on this kind of the system, okay, and the context, we try to realize, okay, how about this kind of system? I mean, though I didn't choose the 60 university, though the 60 university actually participate has been a self-accrediting institution, I only pick up the 30. Okay, because the other part of the schools, the universal technology, I only focus on the general university, okay, so how much there has been influence on this. So we try to realize, okay, how about this system, okay, implement that, and do they really establish the IQS system, and then also use the JCSEE, okay, the program evaluation frameworks to evaluate it. Okay, so this is a research, okay, methods that I use. We have document reviews, we have the focus groups, and then we also do the surveys as well. So now let me show you, okay, and that is about JCSEE. I think for all the program, it means if your program head, this is a very good system for you to realize, okay, your internal, to develop your internal QA. Mainly, okay, JCSEE published, of course, in US one evaluation councils, and that is 5 categories you can use to evaluate, okay, if their system was established. One is the utility, feasibility, okay, propriety, accuracy, and evaluation and accountability. And of course, the very first one focus on if you all the informations, okay, sufficient information about the program, the shared stakeholders, okay, efficiently, and then how about the review process, okay, and then how they be, okay, legally or ethically conducted this program, okay, reviews, and then also about all the information has been published on transparent self improvements and etc. But anyway, I think I would like to share you about that major finding. Okay, so we reviewed this 30 self-accreditation institutions. We find out, okay, most of the university actually they may adopt the 4 to 9 standards. Okay, and then how they recruit a reviewer, because they have to do their EQA by themselves, right? Not IQA, they do AQA by themselves. So the reviewers usually, okay, recommend this for the programs and approve an institutional steering committee. And then usually, okay, they will have the QA unit, 1 to 4 staff, yeah. And then this system has been integrated into the strategic plan. Okay, but if you look at those self-accreditation results, 99.9 pass, okay. All the schools sent to us a pass, okay. So that's why another constraint. So that is about the result that I share with you. But we will analyze, okay, based on not just their proposal, and we also analyze, you know, the reviewers' comments and the students, the university feedback. We try to realize, if we use the JCSEE standards to realize, okay, this 30 university, okay, in this 5 dimension, which dimension actually they're doing better? You can see the feasibility. It means, oh yeah, they have very clear procedures, okay, and the standards very clear, okay. You know, it may ask why. Because most of them just use the HEAC standard and then use the HEAC procedures. Okay, so that won't be that much problems, right? Because you already use the QA agencies, the standard, so that's one. And then the DOIS is the evaluation and accountability. It means that, but after doing that, how they going to use the result to improve, is still not that quite good. Okay, and then the others are in the middle. Okay, so after reviewing the report, but those are more the details, but I do not have time to tell you more. But this is about if you look at those things. And then also, okay, from the focus group we find out something. Okay, some participants worry about if the high pass rate is the concern. Okay, that's what I told you. 99.6% all the program, in the accreditation program, all passed. So to say if they all passed, it doesn't mean that they really do something seriously, or they really have that good quality. So that is one concern. And also some university, okay, in order to make it more, you know, conveniently, make it more convenient, so they simplify the process. And also reduce that, you know, usually here we may have the 12 standards, but they try to reduce to 5. Okay, and try to reduce those who actually they don't think it's very complicated. And it's not easier to collect the data. For example, the thing, anonymize, okay, survey, and then their employability is very complicated, so they did it. And tracking graduate, difficult, they did it, okay. Internationalization, complicated, okay, attract international students, very complicated, so they did it. So they try to, because they have the, you know, allowed to do that, autonomy, self-accreditation. You could develop your own standard, okay, if you think those standards could respond to your futures. And then also we find out no consistency between the standards and decisions. 5 standards, okay, then finally, okay, but the result, okay, the decision or report did not really look at response to that standard that he mentioned. Okay. And then I also think though, they've done that, they also expect that the HEAC or even the Ministry of Education, okay, just tell us what we do. Don't let us do what we want to do. The thing is very complicated. If they give us, okay, the clear goal, okay, in this self-accreditation, we want to achieve all the students, all the universities supposed to be very international, and then we will put the international standards into our, okay, review process. So the thing they hope that it could be. Okay, and then they still find out, okay, the panel recruitment process and the procedure is still not very clear, okay, for all the universities. Some universities, even the panel directly, okay, appointed by the university president. Okay, this seems probably is not that appropriate. Okay, and they're still worried about the human resources. Okay, the school should give more support. Okay, and then another one I think is also very interesting. It's about the consistent that I mentioned, of course, the review decisions. You see the final report, a lot of the problems, a lot of weaknesses, but still pass. So the coherence actually is not that strong. Okay, and then I mentioned school still quite conservative. They still follow, you know, the HEAC, the council's, you know, original patterns, models to do that. Yeah, and then about the survey. Okay, we want to know that if the university, okay, really established the internal QA, and then what exactly this kind of the process influence that. So most of the universities responded and think that yeah, this procedures and the process really comply with, okay, the principle, okay, that HEAC said. The thing is quite good, and then also that the standard development, okay, reviewer recruitment, okay, and then engagement, this kind of process is still, they think, yeah, they're quite good. They from their perspective. This is a university perspective. Okay, what do you think about that? And then, but however, they got a problem is, they think it's very difficult for them to train those reviewers and to offer the workshops for, you know, no matter the step, because they don't think they still have enough capacity to do that. Okay, and most interesting then, oh, not necessarily. because they're very expensive. Okay. And about one thing very interesting to see is about the roles of University Quality Assurance Agency within the university. University now, most of them develop a unit, okay, for taking of those kind of process. So it seems that this office, okay, that has been authorized, okay, to do all those kind of the review process, okay, document prepare, okay, those kind of things. And I think, yeah, they should do that, and I think they do it quite well, okay, for the respondents, for the review, for those participants and respondents, okay. And then they still think that, yeah, in general, they have the sufficient knowledge to how the programs to complete the work. So it seems quite positive, but still, you could find out that, okay, some impact, okay, through this kind of process. They all agree that the quality culture has been developed, but not that exactly, okay, though. And then they do not think that the high pass rate, okay, would damage the fairness, the objectiveness of the self-evaluation, because then before that, from focus groups, okay, some participants will worry about that. But from the survey from the university, I think it's okay. But they still believe that the workload is the issue. Yeah. But finally, we actually know one question. Though now you could be you could do the self-accreditations, right? And would you still choose the HEAC, okay, to be your accreditor? Okay. But the university, most of them say, no, we won't need the HEAC anymore, since now we could do it by ourselves. Okay. So this is about the survey results, very interesting. So based on, no matter the document reviews and then the survey or even the focus groups, we'll find out something very interesting is, okay, how to track a balance between the regulation and autonomy. It seems that university has been given autonomy, but they still hope that government to give them a clear guideline, okay, tell us what you have to do. So how to balance both two. And it means that they still do not have enough perceptive capacity to do that, so that is the one thing. And the other one is, we hope that the evaluation accuracy, okay, and it could be really done exactly, and then that the good sound internal feedback system. So that is why from this kind of process, though they still need more faculty members to engage in this kind of a process. And then I hope that this kind of the feedback system could be established, okay, but it's still, okay, lacking. And then the other one, we find out the information transparency. Okay, still you find out through this process, not all the university publish, okay, all the procedures, all the report, okay, to the public. And we expect that, okay, before they do this kind of process, they should analyze some data, okay, such as use the institutional research to realize the school's strengths and the weaknesses. But most interesting is about dual roles, okay, of the university, okay, Quality Assurance Agency. It seems after this kind of process, this office becomes everyone's enemy. Before, he is the enemy, right? Because we internal, we represent. But now, okay, this office that becomes everyone's the enemy. You say, why? Why does you do that? Okay, so it becomes another HEAC in the office. So that is about how to balance those two and have the good communications, okay, with programs. Okay, then I realize now, okay, quality internal QA actually is our responsibility, okay, and we have to take care of it. So it means that finally, based on so many things, right? And we're thinking about what would be the futures for the QA agency. Of course, we traditionally, okay, QA agency usually play the quality regulator, okay, even VQ, okay, we still. But some QA agencies probably they may, okay, just like a convenience only, because you rely on the professionals, okay? You do not do a review, those professionals help do the review. So it seems like just a convener, okay? How come you could really, okay, demonstrate your professionalism? And then, of course, some QA agency, okay, they have to, okay, they still think that with everything they've done really improve the quality of the education. And then I hope that, okay, in addition to the EQA, mechanism development, they also hope that they could be a capacity developer. It means to help the school to develop the IQA. It seems another new role that the QA agency have to do. And now more and more QA agencies also to ask, could you be the think tank since you have so much report, you have all the data, and then could you provide some advice or recommendations for the government based on those kind of data? And of course, you should be more international, okay, connect to the whole world and to bring those, okay, information, okay, the performances of the university to the world. And now the most important thing is, okay, the QA agency could be the future thinker. Okay, that is from WASC former president Rolf. He always think that because as soon as we set up the standard, as we have the new policy, and then it will impact the schools very, very well. So you should actually have the very, very good visions, but otherwise you may bring everyone go to the wrong direction. So being a good future thinkers probably is a very, very important for all the QA agencies to think about. Another problem is, most of the QA agency, the staff, the very, very they do a lot of administrative work, and how come they could do that? So it means that the QA agency, the staff capacity, okay, now is a very urgent thing for them to achieve. So finally, could say self-accreditation policy, okay, from the over years, okay, still could facilitate the quality culture in a certain way. And then the university, okay, QA office, okay, they don't play the dual roles, but okay, how come you should, have the good communications with all the programs, and then they realize, okay, the purpose of this process is very important. And in a certain way that the QA agency, you think about, seems if all the university, okay, they actually take care of themselves so well, why should they need you, right? So you should be more flexible, right? And then to be the partner of the school, okay, you are now the quality regulator as well. You could be the capacity developer, okay, to let them know more knowledge about IQA, EQA, and how to do it. Yeah, and then university, as soon as you become more autonomy, and then you can think about, okay, how you're going to use this autonomy appropriately, okay? And finally, though we know that quality cultures are important, but it still, okay, will take a long time, okay, to really implement that, okay, embed it on the campuses. Thank you. So, I say quality is not the act, but it could be a habit, okay, that will be happen every day in our daily life. Thank you so much for your attention.